And just like that, we back like we never left. This is the CCA podcast. I'm your boy Q France. Behind the scene, as always, is the man himself, man, the myth, Mr. John McLeod, making sure that we look good and sound good. And today on the podcast, we have Mr. Stay Dangerous himself, Mr. All That Chicken, Be Extreme, NBXA, Team Blackout, Akeem Supreme, Big Soul in the house. What's up?
Let's get it. Let's get it. What's going on?
Yo, say what's up to the people. Let them know. First thing first, we're going to start with this right here. What's this mean?
You already know the staying dangerous. It's a mindset. It's an idea where, pushing those limits, staying dangerous. Every time like anybody who knows me, I'm competitive. I love to compete. I love to push the limits. And my idea is always to be dangerous. I come into it, I want them to feel some type of way, to walk into the building, your presence is just felt as dangerous. You're a threat. Every time somebody sees you, they're like, damn, I got to go against him. That's dangerous.
Yeah. And this makes perfect sense to me, knowing you so many years, man. Like I said, I've never met anybody else that people, like, before you even show up in the room, people feel that energy coming.
Yeah.
Like, I've met people that know you as Akeem and people that met you as Soul. And the funny thing about that is they always, if they knew you from younger, they always say the same thing. Yo, this dude is going to be something. This dude is going to be something crazy. It's always that kind of energy. It's like everybody you meet saw something else in you. Even when I first met Matrix, he was like, yo, wait till you see this kid's Soul.
Yeah.
And it was like it's like do you feel like you have a responsibility to like satisfy a lot of people's expectations of you?
Do I feel that way? No, it's my energy. I mean, when I first met Matrix, it was always organic. Like it was organic. I seen him. I was already doing my own thing. I was doing my pull-ups. I did my push-ups, my dips. But when I finally, seen some other people who can do it, it like, okay, this is what I'm going to be doing. It just opened my eyes, and my passion for it always came out loud. Like it always came out, work. Like it's always been like that. I don't know no other way. It's not a facade. Like I'm always like that. And any realm that I compete in, I do the same thing. Some people thinking it's like, it's not real, it's not me. But anybody who knows I'm passionate about it, it's just it comes out that way. Like anybody who does anything for your fullest heart. Like I ain't do it for no money. I ain't do it for a prize or a trophy. We've been to so many competitions where I even leave the trophy because I'm not there for that. I'm there for just to push myself, see how far I can do that, and what else happens. So that's how I always leave it on the table. Is all my energy out there, give my best me, and I'm okay with that. If anybody didn't like it, it was on them, and a lot of times they kept it to themselves. So it is what it is.
For sure.
Yeah.
So now let's backtrack. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's talk about school days. Were you into a lot of sports, and when did the fitness get into into your life?
I could say fitness been there from the beginning. I say when I first started, I was a lot of I did a little basketball, and after that, actually a little bit before then, I was doing boxing. I was like, man, I love to fight. So that was probably the best sport for me. In the beginning, it was just boxing, punching. I loved it, the interaction of just boxing, and I love boxing so much. I even like the part of even getting hit. Like a lot of times people are trying to be elusive, like, nah, you got to take that on the chin. It took me to a place where the enjoyment of just like physical contact and really feeling like you're a warrior in a sense, like everybody, I tell people how to really understand my thinking when I go to work out or I go into a competition. It's like we all gladiators and we going on to the big stage and we here to, show the crowd, our best bet, our best look forward. And I think I bring that to the stage or every competition I've ever been to.
So when did so when you were younger, was it just like, did you see other people doing fitness, or was it like through school? I know a lot of people remember like there were school qualifications you had to do as far as fitness was concerned. And I know a lot of them decided to follow that because they know next year that test was going to come around again. Or was it just that you were around people that were working out that made you want to just continue fitness?
No, I was just that skinny kid who, I just had a lot of energy. And then I remember one time I was told by one of these guys when I was playing basketball, he's like, because your limbs are so long, you should always be doing push-ups. And the stronger you get, obviously doing everything wide, you'll be able to contain, your strength and knowing how to use the fact that your limbs are so long. So and when I heard him say that, it really just got me into that mindset, because I did my little pull-up, push-ups here and there. But when he told me that, I really honed that in. And I really locked into learning and doing those movements every day. And then, obviously, meeting other guys. Like I remember this guy that really put me into the pull-up game. His name was C. He was in St. Mary's, and he would tell me like, yo, make sure you get your clips in. And every time we was in there, we go in there for like 300 or 400. We'd be out there for 2 or 3 hours, just going for pull-ups. So he always had me in that mind state, like everything wide. Like he was a Caribbean dude. He was like, everything wide. And everything that he did was like wide pull-ups, wide push-ups, everything is about like intensity. And then making sure that, he did everything with really intense intent on what he was doing. He would do anything with a lot of passion to it. I don't know if I took on what he did because he wasn't as like me. I'm more like, let's get it, let's push it. He was more so like, just keep all his energy in, and he'll just do his reps and sets and stuff like that.
Okay. So talk me about meeting NBXA.
Oh, meeting Matrix, meeting the team. I remember when I was in St. Mary's, because that was in my neighborhood, actually. I met Spider. I don't know if anybody remember who that was, but he was a main member in NBXA. And I remember he told me, oh, they got a couple other guys that work out over there by the Brookner. So I was like, all right, I'm with it. Anybody that can work out or work out harder than me, let's see it. I don't believe it until I see it, I'm a person who you got to show and prove, I want to see what you're talking about. I see a lot of, I was looking at a couple of your interviews. They was like, oh, these guys who, watch YouTube. I didn't watch YouTube. I didn't care to know anybody who's on YouTube. I was trying to go after, if you can work out and you the best, I'm trying to see you.
In person.
You said what?
In person.
Yeah, I want to see what you're talking about. Everybody look good on YouTube. They did little tricks. I want to see you in person do all that you talking about, And it showed me, if you about what you see on YouTube, that's great, because everybody can do the routine that they do on YouTube. It looks nice. You cleaned it up. You can do a little edit. I'm starting to learn how to do a little bit of edits too. You can make everything look clean. Now, when you real deal in front of somebody, that's when you can really talk that,
right.
Talk that stuff that you talking about on the internet, I want to be the same person I'm on the internet, in real life.
So it's funny because that brings me to when I interviewed Tech, we talked about that legendary meetup that y'all had that made it to YouTube. And I remember people actually thinking they could get at you because of that video.
What you mean get at me?
It was like, oh, nah, Tech beat him. Like Tech beat him so I could beat him. And I looked at him like, nah, I don't think so. I said, I don't think you want to say that out loud, bro.
And a lot of times, people don't understand, like, I was coming out of church. I had the church clothes on. Like, I would work out with anything. And Tech he was there for a minute. I think he plotted that a little bit. He was probably like waiting, like, because he knew the type of person I am. I ain't turned down no challenges. I was there for anytime, anywhere. If you see me on a block, I'll give you 50. Like, right. And we was doing his routine. And I still told him to this day, man, you got to do my routine next. Everybody had their own nice little routine that they always did. They never did anybody else's shit. I was always mad about that. I got this set routine that only I could do. I don't want to hear that. Let me see you do something new,
Mix it up.
Exactly.
So let's run down the first time. Well, first of all, the first competition you did with NBXA, was it the very first one, or did
It
you?
was. I'm the first NBXA athlete, actually. Yeah.
Right,
And
right.
the first winner.
Yeah,
So it was. I mean, how many people was there that competed? Because I remember it was me, Tech, Hit, and I forgot who was going with me. I think Hollywood jumped in the first one, and I think Rebel.
Right.
For some reason, Stamina didn't jump into that competition, but I was there every year. Like this is what I do. I was looking for the best of the best. If you was there, I was trying to compete against you. So I didn't understand, and I don't know if it was something about, you know, all these people who do all these pull-ups coming to the competition just to watch. I was just like, what are you here for?
Right.
Like, to watch this on whatever, I guess YouTube, right?
Right.
I don't know, but I mean, what are you here for? Like, exactly.
Right.
All
Especially
these guys that do pull-ups for days for free, and you come here to sit here and watch us? Like, what's going on? Like, I ain't never understood that shit. So, right. I mean, I ain't never understood that.
Yeah.
Like, we get to a point where, okay, we all do pull-ups. But it's something to go against somebody who can do the same amount as you or expected to do as much as you. So I always felt like, you know, competition there, I got to jump in. Right. It's never been a time where I was just sitting there like, oh, let me just watch. Unless I was there for something else, you know?
Right.
But usually if there's a competition, I'm jumping in just cause. But, you know, I guess it wasn't that for everybody.
I mean, that's built. It's two different warriors in this, man. It's some that are proven, and it's some that is just, you know, they claim it themselves, basically. You know, if you put out a video doing the same routine that somebody did in the competition, the only champion is the one that won the competition.
I think so, because it's a lot different than, you know, sometimes those guts tell you, you know, I'm the man, I'm the best, but then there's nobody to really prove it. They just say, you know, I'm the best, and they leave it at that. And I guess anybody could just say that now, you know, I'm a YouTube star or whatever.
That's that old fighter. That's fighter's mentality. You got to go up against a competitor.
That's how I always thought about it. I want to go against everybody, even though at a lot of times in a couple of those competitions, I was heavier than a lot of guys, you know, before they started even having those weight limits. Think about a lot of those competitions. I'm 60, 70 pounds heavier than a lot of dudes, and I still gave up a lot of problems out there, you know? So,
and that's one of the things.
I took pride in that too.
Yeah, see, that's one of the things. That's one of the things that caught my eye with you immediately, was that you stood out from every other competitor, other than like guys like Stamina, that was about your height, your weight. But he wasn't flying as high as you were. He wasn't doing the things that you were. Everybody was doing handstands, you were doing handstands. And you were, like you said, 40, 50 pounds heavier than that. Muscle ups, letting go of the bar, explosiveness on the push-ups, everything. And I was always respected that. I said that you can do all that you want, but you 120 pounds. This dude is 2 and change. Right? So to be the first athlete, the true heavyweight athlete, to compete in freestyle competition, true freestyle competition, which means free expression.
Exactly.
So salute to you for that, because a lot of dudes would have been like, I ain't gonna do it because these dudes is too light. I mean, you stepped up to every single challenge and walked away a champ.
Exactly. What we here for? I could have watched that for YouTube. Like, I don't know. I'm a person, we gonna go for it, right? How many 5B competitions we went to? We just there just to, you know, show out.
Right.
See who's the best at that competition, and let's get it done. You know, I want to take all the trophies home and let's get it going.
I remember at certain 5B's competition, they would groom athletes to go up against you.
Ooh, yeah, I remember that.
And I remember, like, of course, you missed the high energy, right? And I remember 1 year, this dude was all in your face. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And you was calm. And I looked at you like, wait a minute, something wrong. So I thought I had to turn my energy up for you. But then at the end, I realized you was like, I'm gonna wash this dude up regardless, like badly, and did him bad. And that's exactly what happened. And he was over there drinking energy drinks and taking pre-workout and the whole 9 yards, and you was cool and calm. And that's one of the funniest competitions I ever seen in my life, because the amount of energy that this dude put into his effort to prove that he was better than you, and he was failing horribly.
Yeah, but I mean, I remember that, but I wasn't calm. I only got calm when it was ready to do the set. Because I remember sometimes I push out too much energy in the beginning. Now you tired during the workout. So I was talking it. I was like, I'm gonna trash you. I'm gonna make sure you look bad out here.
But it was still not.
How much you got?
It was still not your usual level. It was definitely not your usual level.
Nah, bro, I was there. I still watch old videos of that. He hit me up today. What's his name? Is it Bruce Breeze or something like that?
Something like that. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. He was telling me, he was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna come get you. I was like, I'm here. I'm gonna come. I'm taking everything. And I remember I got like every first place during that day. Like I was like, yeah, I smoked you.
Yeah.
Then we did the squats. I was killing it. Yeah, we was wild on that day.
So I remember you also detached your bicep in the middle of a contest.
Oh yeah, that was painful.
And you try to continue the routine.
I definitely did. I mean, warrior mindset. I'm gonna take that to heart. A lot of times people don't understand that, those competitions wasn't free. Like even though that, Matrix had to pay for it, we had to come up with the money. We was going to 42nd Street and doing routines and working out so we could just have money up for the people that was going to win. So not only am I going to be in a competition, we just trained the whole night.
Right.
Just to pay for so somebody can have prize money. You feel me? Some of the guys.
That's the beginning. That's the beginning.
That's a lot of times. Yeah, in the beginning of I think the first 3 years, we was hustling to get that money. Like we was out there going raps, doing tricks, doing everything that we was doing in the competition for like the whole night. I'm talking about. I went back to. I remember we was out into 42nd Street, 34th. For like at least 8 hours. I think I got back into my house maybe like 4 o'clock in the morning, competitions at 8. My body was killing me. And that day, I think I just pushed it way too far. And then I tore a tendon in my bicep. And pain, that was...
I know that ain't easy. I did one in my calf, and that noise was the worst noise I ever heard in my life. When it detached, so I could only imagine, man. Powerhouse said that y'all had to carry a pull-up rack one time from like 42nd Street to 80-something Street.
Exactly. That we were trying to put this money up for that. Yeah, we was every time we get a chance, we set it up, and then the cops would mess with us. So we had to just pick it up and just keep walking. Like we was making it happen.
See, people understand that was what was necessary back then. Because remember, this is brand new. This is brand new. So you had to display it to the world. Yeah, you had to display it.
It's not like the internet.
Right.
The internet, you just type up, come out, come see me. We had to do groundwork. Like we had to post it up. You had the posters in every park. We was giving out flyers on 42nd Street, 34th. Everywhere where it was like a lot of people. I remember we 125th. I remember I was to walk out from the park all the way to wherever we're going just to have advertisement. Your body is your advertisement. And I would just be going, my man, come to the competition. If you get it in, and a lot of times that's what happens. And that's what the people that seen us through the flyers or seen us hand them out, it was like, all right, I'm going to go check you. Made it an event. And I think that's what really pushed off the events is us going out there on foot, doing the work that most people wouldn't want to do,
Right.
And then to go and jump in the competition after doing all the work and, obviously freestyling all night, most people like, I'm tired. I was like, nah, we got to do
it. So hold on. So you, as you was coming uptown, were you doing the punch the ground too?
All that. We did that on concrete, all that, knuckles bleeding. After a while, it stopped bleeding, but I was in it. Like, I didn't even feel no pain after a while. I would punch the ground, all of that. All of this is bloody. I'd be like, let's go. Throw a little alcohol on it. We keep it going.
So how you feel about like other people on YouTube, Instagram, and everything else, just pretty much like coming, learning from you, and just taking off?
In the beginning, it used to bother me. I say so in the beginning because a lot of times I remember these certain people coming to the actual park, asking me how I did it, and they stoling and clapping, and then people ask, how did you learn it? And it's something just easily to be said. Like, the person that taught me the game, Matrix, off the rip. Like, anybody that knows me I already point them to where it is. And it takes nothing to say where you really got it from, because you actually came to the park and asked me, how do I do it? How do I do these push-ups, these dips, and all it? And you know, they had their own little thing, but they wasn't doing what I was doing. They actually stole the move that I was doing. So in the beginning, I used to feel a little type of way about it. Like I used to call him out, like, yeah, I remember, what was this guy name? With a Chatty Boy and
Chatty.
What's that other girl name? Brittany,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
I don't remember a tag, but they used to do it, and I'm like, I had footage of them doing it, like me teaching them.
Right.
So
I got that same footage.
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning I was, but then I was like, you know what? If you created something, you put it out, it is what it is. You should have did more with it, I guess. But I did it. But it was something where I guess I thought most people knew me for doing it. So I didn't like, oh, they gonna know what the real is. And after a while, I'm just like, it is what it is. Everybody can do it. It doesn't bother me.
Now, you have a global impact easily. Easily have a global impact. You're one of the most recognizable people in the game, just for your physique alone. Physique, the dreads. Sometimes I remember people used to mistake you for Beast, and then they see you with your shirt off. They was like, "Oh, nah, that's so." But I remember, what's his name, Koki from Japan. That he came to New York, and y'all went to, I think went to like 3rd Avenue in the Bronx or something like that, or Fordham Road. I forgot which one. And you were saying that he was literally just influenced by the stuff you was looking at, like the items of clothing that you were interested in. And he just wanted to be like you, like, you know, dress like you. And he's a bodybuilder too now.
Yeah, I influence even the guys that's in the calisthenic world to be bodybuilding. Because if you remember, I was the first to do that.
Yes,
you know, when I even told you I was going to jump in the competition, you like, you going to do what? I was like, I'm going to compete. You was like,
because you said it the day before the competition.
Oh yeah, we didn't even train. We was just going in there, jumped in there. I ain't have no trunks. I think I bought the trunks that day.
Right.
And then I didn't do no cardio. I didn't even eat right. Like I didn't eat no fish. I didn't do no cardio. Oh man.
Yo, it's funny too, and that's the funny thing, because I remember that night, because you told me you was gonna do it. And I was like, yo, you got posing coach and anything like that? He was like, nah, I was watching some YouTube videos.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was scrambling, trying to figure out how I could help you in the moment. So I called Mike. And I was like, yo, Mike, hit him up, at least, because Mike had some amateur bodybuilding experience. And he was like, yo, meet me in the park. I show you some poses. So when they come around that you won the competition, we were sitting there like, yo, what?
Yeah, that was crazy. First competition ever to get first place. I was like, it's over. I might just start running this, you know? But I wasn't disciplined in the beginning, you know? I wasn't really doing dieting because, you know, I felt like, you know, I'm the best. I look good in calisthenics. They can't tell me nothing. But when I really realized, you know, dieting really matters, you know, and really getting into that next level, because, you know, obviously, you know, you're doing Brooklyn, that's an amateur show.
Right.
Those are like, you know, you're going against other amateurs, and really ain't nobody who's contending to be a pro or at those shows yet. You know, some of them is just starting up just like you. So I knew I could be the average person. But then, you know, in the beginning, I didn't know about being a pro and being, you know, on the most competitive stage ever, you know, obviously the Olympia and things like that. So in the beginning, it was more so, I already look good. Let me just jump in there. Let me see where the competition is at, you know? And that was just the next level of me competing again. So I was like, you know what? Let me see what this is like. But I was still dib and dab doing both, you know?
Right. The craziest thing I wanted to ask you this in person a while back. Yeah. And it's funny too, when I was thinking of questions to ask you, I went to an old notepad, and in the first page of it, it had this question. Okay. What would have happened if you would have lost that first contest?
Just how you know me though. I mean, you're not gonna win every show, but my competitive drive is to keep on going, you know? Yeah. I even tell myself to this day, why do I continue on, you know? Obviously, you know, if you learn bodybuilding, you know, the politics of it, and learning how, you know, certain things don't always go in your favor. And it's not a sport on repetition. It's not a sport on, you know, average sets. It's what the judges think. So I can, no matter what, I always feel like I'm the best. I'm always gonna go in there with the mindset staying dangerous. I'm gonna always have that mindset. I'm the best that's going in these competitions, but you're not always gonna win it. But you're always going in there with your best foot forward, you know, always trying to see, you know, what's your best pose, what makes you look good rather than somebody else's, you know, and then how to counter their routine if y'all both on the same stage, you know. A lot of times it's understanding who's going to be there sometimes rather than just you. So I mean, learning that and learning the ins and outs of competitions, it taught me a lot. It showed me a lot, and it showed me how people move in these type of industries, and it was a great experience. You know, it still is an experience because I'm continually still going, you know, still doing it, you know.
So
oh no, that might be a lot.
No, that's perfect because you I have to cross out something that I had.
No, what you gonna cross out? No, don't cross out nothing, man.
So you ran through, like, I think you are on record as one of the fastest to become pro.
I don't know if it's the record.
Not the record, but you're on record as one of the fastest. Like,
I don't think so.
Yeah,
because there's guys who've done one show and then did like a national qualifier and then won. Yeah, so I wouldn't say that. I don't think that title is mine. There's people who've done, you know, one show at this local city and then they did a national and then they already pro. So I wouldn't say that. Yeah. But from New York, I'm one of the first, I think. But I don't know. Some of those other guys is from like Staten Island and Long Island. I can't say that, but I went to the Olympia the fastest. I qualified the fastest.
Yeah. So what's the vibe like at one of these shows compared to, well, not even compared to calisthenics, because there's no comparison. Like, what's
similar? You know, everybody's in their own space. I think a lot of times most people are just like, you know, making sure that they got their routines ready. So they got a mirror in front of them usually, or they know they're trying to pump up, or I think basically a lot of people is a lot quieter. But you know me, let's go.
Yeah.
Hype myself up. A lot of times people, I think, in the beginning, they think that I'm trying to like disturb their mood, but it's to hype myself up. It's not to me. It doesn't rely on my energy. Doesn't rely on others. It's all reflection of me. So like me is like somebody going into a basketball game. That's my team. I'm a clap, you know, and those type of things and those type of I would say antics help me to be more like, you know, alive. You know, in the midst of you being on a heavy diet, you got to make yourself alive. I feel like you have to even fake, you know, being excited or fake, you know, having energy when you're so depleted in those type of conditionings. Because a lot of times people see those pictures and like, wow, how long do you stay like that? That look is only there for maybe 2 or 3 days, you know. And a lot of times people don't know that you're at your most depleted at those times. You know, you look great, but you feel like you don't feel your best. So a lot of times I have to fake my energy, and a lot of times it takes a confident person to see what I'm doing, and they'd be like, "Oh, nah, he's just pushing himself." And some people will feel offended. You know, sometimes they don't understand why I'm doing it. They're like, "Oh, he's just trying to be different." I'm who I am. Anybody who knows me, I'm a push myself to be the best. I'm trying to beat everybody that's coming to that stage. So, like in any competition I ever go into, I was trying to beat everybody. I want to go home with every W as possible. You know, all the wins. So same thing when I go into those type of competitions. I want to be the best. I'm gonna make sure my noise in the back is gonna hype me up. If it offends you, that's on you. But when I'm there, you're gonna know I'm there.
See, that's the thing I love about it, because watching you in that space still reminds me of when we training together. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You still getting this.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Exactly.
So
to see those type of instincts makes you really like, you know, I gotta hype myself up, and then it hypes everybody else up to either keep on my pace or we keep going. So I always felt like, you know, if anybody ever had an issue with it, it was on them. My energy is my energy, and I feel like if I need to press it out, or you know, this is the place to do it. This is our outlet. So I'm gonna express myself to the max, you know.
And again, like you said, this is you being you.
Exactly. I don't know other way. I don't know other way. Me being quiet is just be like, you all right? Akeem, you sick?
So the training sessions you have with your friends that are in bodybuilding and physique contests and everything else, do you try to encourage them to incorporate more calisthenics?
Oh man, when I found out a lot of them don't do pull-ups, or a lot of them don't do the type of intensity that I was thought that was the norm, it was a mind blown. Like I was like, oh, you don't do this, oh, you don't do this, you don't do the push-ups, and understanding how much endurance I have compared to other bodybuilders is it almost make you laugh. It's like I ain't doing shit. Well, I mean, y'all not doing anything compared to the calisthenics that I came from. So anytime I go into a workout or a set with anyone that has been in this game, and I'm thinking like, you know, they're gonna be, you know, extremely, not no diss on them, but the level of endurance that it takes to be a calisthenics athlete, and the repetition, and you know, obviously we used to go through routines where we didn't rest often. And if it was resting while moving or doing something a little bit less than what we were doing. So like if we're doing muscle ups, the rest would be push-ups, or the rest would be, you know, squatting. It was active rest. Like you wasn't stopping, you know, and then to see a lot of people are not like that. And you know, and I used to have to understand that, you know, that's what made me a little bit different. And obviously my look compared to any other Olympians, I don't look like anyone. My look is unique, so it could either been looked at as something good, or it could have been looked at as something bad. Because I don't have, I feel like some of them have like a condensed. Mine's is more, you know, I have wide, extremely wide waist. I'm sorry, waist. Lats. My lats are extremely wide. So I feel like when I first came into the game, that was something new for a lot of people, because my lats were my biggest attribute, or my best attribute for, you know, men's physique, because my lats, it was like something that you had to see, and you could see it from the front. And when I did my back routine, you would see like, oh wow. And then I think the confidence, because you know, obviously that we doing anything that we doing, I feel like I'm the best. If I can't go up there with confidence, I don't even want to go. So just seeing those type of engagements, and seeing their type of training, and understanding that I had to actually dumb down my training to stay at, you know, a certain level with them, where I'm not doing too much, because, you know, obviously we used to doing 3 hours. Remember the Thanksgiving workouts? We used to do 50 down, pull up, push up, muscle ups.
Legendary.
Yeah, and people.
We had to finish it. We had to finish it the next day. It was so long.
It's not normal, and that's why I feel like having that type of mentality, where that was considered normal for us. That's not normal in the average person who competes mentality, you know. So I would bring that same mentality into the workout with weights. So I'm going up 150, 200. I'm trying to max out on every weight. And they're like, oh, we done. And I'm like, nah, we got more. Everything needs to be maxed out, you know. And I had to learn sometimes scaling back so I can put on more size. Is one of the things that I had to do. But I still
that balance.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that I mastered that yet, because I still have that mentality. More is better, you know. But you know, obviously, calisthenics taught me that, and the endurance of calisthenics is second to none. I don't believe anybody in the world could compete with a calisthenic true athlete. You know, a guy who do, you know, the amount of muscle ups we used to do for hours. But you know, different stage, different, you know, things to learn, you know.
Yo, the thing I wrote down that I was laughing at is the whole time, every time I watch a contest, when you get on stage and you start, and you know how much you have to smile.
Oh yeah,
right. So for years, and since I first met you, when the first time I met you at NBXA, and then the first time you walked into Brotherhood, Yankee Stadium Park. You know how you move. You look like the meanest person in the world. If nobody knew you, they would swear you was the meanest person in the world. You always have this demeanor about you. So to see you on a stage having a smile always made me laugh. Right? Because I know the other side of you. Like, I've seen you work with kids at fitness events and all this other stuff. I know the softer side of you, seeing you around your family and all that. But to see you on stage being that person that they need to see on stage, I was like, yo, there's nothing this man can't do.
I mean, that took a lot, because it's not something I would say that I'm walking in with the intentions of having a mean face. It's just my settled face isn't a smile. I would say that. A lot of times people, you know, they walk around with a cheery smile. I've never been that person with a cheery smile, but it was always good energy. It was never something that, you know, I feel like came with any intent of trying to be tough, or I feel like anything that was something that wasn't me. It was always organic. When you actually had a conversation, anybody who knows me, you know, I'm funny. You know, I joke around a lot. I make sure that we have a good time. But and going back to competing, I had to learn to smile because it's a part of your presentation. You got to go in there, you know, it's all a part of, you know, making sure that your shorts look great, you know, making sure that your tan looks great. All of that matters. And it's a simple adjustment, but it makes a big difference. I tell people that because how your shorts look can change up your position on how you win or lose. Because if you don't look good, they can't place you as first. A lot of time I've seen guys who looks great, but their shorts don't look good, so they wind up not winning. And they're like, oh, you know, I think it's biased. It's not. You have to look the part. You know, you want to win, you got to look like a winner.
I'm going to reveal a cheat code that you have that a lot of people don't know. This man doesn't grow body hair.
What you talking about, man? I grow body hair, man.
Yeah, right. You probably got 4 hairs on your whole body, bro. That's what, yo, and anybody that's in the bodybuilding knows you got to shave. You have to shave. And yo, you have an ultimate cheat code.
Yeah, man. I ain't never shaved no chest. That was crazy. I don't know. I ain't start shaving until I turned 30.
That always blew my mind, man, because I remember somebody said, and you have a lot of allergies, right? Yeah. So how is managing your weight any more difficult or easy with your allergies?
It's tough because I can't have peanut butter. I can't have. I have a nut allergy. For people who don't know, and I can't eat any kind of seeds either. But I'm eating flax seeds. Those are okay and things like that. But as far as any peanut, like, you know, peanut butter, almond butter, any of those type of butters or any of those nut creams or any type of mixture like that, I can't eat. I can't have shrimp, lobster, crab. Yeah. But it affects it, but there's other ways of doing it. You know, obviously I can't go the peanut butter route, but I could go with like MCT oil. That's a good fat that I can add on to my meals. Or I do avocado. I have to eat a lot of avocados so I can have good fats to help me put on size. But if I could have one wish, I wish I could have like avocado. Like, I wish I got peanut butter, man. I wish, but
yeah, I mean,
you know. Yeah. But I'm glad that it's not to the extent of me needing an EpiPen.
Right.
But I just get like really nauseous and then start throwing up a lot. I take a Benadryl and I'm usually fine after. But I mean, it's not a great experience for me, so I choose not to just have it at all. I remember at one point, you know, I had that warrior mentality. I remember I was trying to get my body to get used to it. I would take a little bit every day. It's just that it got so bad. I was just like, you know what, this ain't even it.
Right.
Yeah,
like
yeah, like I would get a little, you know, a little itching. I'm like, you know, I could deal with it. And thinking that I would build an immunity after a while, but it just got so bad. I was just like, I don't know. I started looking like, you know, you ever watch Hitch? Where he got allergies? Yeah, it was starting to get bad. So I was like, you know what, I gotta let this go.
Oh man, because if everybody doesn't know, has never competed in a bodybuilding competition, or known people to do it. When you in those break periods, when you're not on stage, those peanut butter and rice cakes and all that stuff come in so handy. Man. So what's your snack during those times? The cream?
I do rice cakes. Yeah, just rice cakes. I can't have the peanut butter, so I just have the rice cake. But I've learned now too for how my body works is just making sure that I stay full. I play around with maybe having a cheat meal right before I get on stage, maybe like a burger and fries. That's been a little bit different from most people who've been doing. because I'm so conditioned already. I usually come in so conditioned. So me having like a burger and fries, my body explodes and I really get the best look for me, you know?
Get that balance, the softness that they
Exactly.
want, that softness they want. That's
That
so
tightness, it is actually, it gives you a extreme pump when you start to have like at that level of competition, and when you're so diet down, having greasy food, like it almost wakes your body up. You know, I can actually have like 2 burgers, 2 fries, extra ketchup, and I throw a lot of salt, because having sodium in your body,
right.
yo, it's game time. After that, I'm ready to go. Your
See?
body, my body, everybody's body's different. I don't want to tell everybody to do this. If you carb sensitive or you have problems with, digesting and different things like that, a lot of times most people just, that I can't do it. No, know your body type and know if this works for you. You do it in your off season. A lot of times people, this guy do it, so I'm gonna do it. No, everything ain't for everybody. That works for me. Something could be totally different for you, especially if your goal is to be lean and things like that.
So you're also a personal trainer.
Yeah, personal train.
Former Equinox.
Yeah.
Needs to say numerous people in the calisthenic game, and now you've taken on physique training, because I've sent a couple people to you myself to be taught.
Yeah, doing posing and things like that. Yeah, because
so you're teaching posing also.
Yeah, doing posing, and obviously showing people their best look, because a lot of times people, like we spoke earlier about, they're not bringing the best them on stage. They're just showing one portion, or they look at a guy that's on YouTube or Instagram and they're like, I like how he poses. Let me do it just like him. And that's not always the case. You got to make sure that you show the attributes that looks good on you, and that's not always going to be for everybody. It's something completely different for everybody.
That's true. That's true. So, who is your biggest rival in calisthenics?
Biggest rival,
if any?
I wouldn't say rival. In the beginning, I would say Tech. I always wanted. I was a little mad that he actually stopped competing. I think was it the second year?
Yeah.
Because I feel like competing against him made me want to be better. Obviously going against somebody, and then I didn't really realize that he was a lot older than me at that time too. But I didn't care. I wanted to beat him too. So my whole thing was beat him and then move on to the next. But everybody else, they wasn't there long enough. Everybody didn't compete every year. Like, I remember all these guys that's being said, and I'm not, no offense to them, or even if it is offense, I don't care. But they competed once. I wanted somebody that was like my height. I mean, never going to probably get somebody my height or a heavyweight. Nobody competed at that level. I feel like I was the only one. I was the only one at that weight that was really pushing it to that level. I mean, some of the smaller guys were doing it where they would compete every year, but not everybody competing every year. That's why another reason why I started going into other things and other endeavors about, competing, because the circle of calisthenics, most people don't understand who was competing, is really small. Yeah. And a lot of the guys is lightweights. So I was like, let me see what there's other things out there, us being different calisthenic dudes, we tried everything. We went into CrossFit classes. We tried everything. Boxing. I'm a person that I want to compete. So if it's just this, that's great. But I want to see where the competition is at, where I can challenge myself to be the best me in any sport that I play in,
That's one thing. That's one thing what you said that I didn't even. I just realized that now is that fact that at your weight, the majority of the people that you was competing against, pull up park jam and whatever else, they would only compete 1 year. Yeah, 1 year they would groom themselves for that year and then get beaten and not show up again.
No more. And then you like, all right, bro, you still compete, and then you see him on the street. Like, oh, what's up? I'm like, you do this anymore?
I fell off.
A lot of times. Yeah, you said what?
I fell off.
Yeah, like it almost like that's another reason too. I hate to hear that. Oh, I fell off. That sounds to me is like one of the worst things you can hear. So I always wanted to make sure that I stay in shape, make sure that I was able to, at least get my 100 pull-ups. Unless I gotta get my pull-ups in. I gotta get my muscle up. I can't be worse than when they see me. Oh, yo, you used to look like this. I could never hear that.
Right.
I never
Right.
wanted to hear that sound of, yo, you used to be that crazy dude where, no, I always that, yo. I'm always there, you know?
Yo, and it's funny you say that. Like I said, I go to the park. Dude's like, "Yo, you seen Akeem?" I was like, "Yeah, I seen him. He doing his thing." And I was like, and you know how like half the story. I was like, "You know, he bodybuilding now." And he was like, "Nah," and I showed him the picture. He was like, "Yo, this dude don't ever fall off." I was like, "Yo, not ever." He
You
made
can't,
as soon
man.
as I feel like I'm falling off, I look at one of your pictures. I'm like, "Nah, I gotta get back on it. I gotta get back on it."
Man.
So, talk to me about the work that you're doing now with the young guns, man. Team Limitation, Miguel. Now you guys are killing YouTube with these videos, man.
I mean,
Killing
it's
YouTube.
not getting the looks that I feel like it's supposed to get because, you know, I don't know, you know, the algorithm and, you know, I guess people not really understanding what I'm doing with showing, you know, because, you know, even from the beginning of Brotherhood, I trained most of those guys in the parks. I was out there most of the time, you know, running the stairs, doing the workouts. And, you know, Miguel's always been around. Well, he hasn't always been around, but for the last, I think, what? You say 5 years or 6 years?
A little more than 5, maybe like 6, 7 years, something like that.
Yeah, he was always like he was there to go with me. He'd be like, "Yo, Akeem, what we doing?" And at the beginning, I would smoke him in every workout. He was like, "Yeah, come here, I'll make him do it," but he'd do it, you know. And the love and the energy of trying to finish it and try to beat me was on his mindset. So it always pushed me to keep on making sure that I'm on my game. And then I used to tell him too, I'm like, "Yo, I weigh more than you. You should be moving faster than me. Stop playing. If I'm moving faster than you, that means you're gonna get smoked by somebody lighter." So he was always on his game, you know, and you know, he creates a lot of routines for himself now, and a lot of people can't do them. I'm telling you right off the rip, he got some stuff. I think he made his last routine up that I think it was called the painkiller.
Oh, right.
Bro, and people not doing it right.
No, they're not gonna do it because remember, it's a different generation out there now. It's a different generation out there now.
But he learned from the old, and he's bringing back some new, and I'm excited about it because he's his own person. He thinks, and if you do work, he gonna see it. He gonna show it. He gonna come to it. He gonna hold it. Give you your props. Now, if it's trash, he'll tell you too. It's trash.
Yeah, like
but he'll show you.
It's true. That's why I said I'm gonna try to bring back FIF.
Oh yeah.
But I'm gonna say, let me calm down because we're dealing with a more sensitive audience now.
I don't like that, man. I don't like the sensitive culture now, man. Too many people need to hold hands and I'm sorry. Nah, if you can't compete, go home. This ain't for you.
Right.
You know?
We looking for the warriors.
This culture of everybody's inclusive. No, you can't be included. If you don't train hard, you don't look good. If you don't look good, you can't really say you're an athlete that does this. Like, I don't know. It goes hand in hand. You look good, it's because you train. Right. I mean, some people got good genetics. You can get past it. You know, a lot of people don't have to work as hard as others, but some people you have to. Take with the genetics that you have and continue on. Like, we're not going to cry about this. Yeah. And if you can't do it, stay home. Go play Yu-Gi-Oh! Or whatever game is out right now, you know?
You understand, man. Yo, when we collaborated, me and Mike did Brotherhood, and we said we're gonna bring in Team Blackout. So Brotherhood's this level.
No. How we brought that up? You forgot the meeting?
What happened?
The meeting when Brotherhood was established.
Yeah.
What happened? It was Mike. It was who else? Goliath.
Goliath. Goliath was supposed to be in charge of the freestyle part.
What?
He was supposed to be in charge of training all the freestyle athletes.
I don't remember that. But what I remember is when we were starting up, we was like, yo, what positions people going to be in?
Right.
When everything started, I was like, I'm going to be the general. I remember off the jump, like, I'm going to be the general because I want to make sure that the people that we training is going to go through this line of a certain athlete. Right. And then when it becomes to a certain athlete, they got to go to the next level, and that would be Blackout.
Right.
And then I remember I was like, yo, Mike should be the VP. Because in the beginning, we didn't know who should be like. I was like, yo, y'all the oldest out of this shit. Y'all niggas need to be, y'all dudes need to be the head of this so we can have a level ground where we can come together and understand what's going on. Right. And then I guess it crumbled down into other things. But just to say how that started, it was crazy because seeing how many people not there anymore or even compete.
Mm-hmm.
or not even doing calisthenics anymore. Like they just feel like they just completely just did something else, which is not terrible in some senses.
I
But it's
mean,
just
I knew
like
it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. But
I mean,
it always happens.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we were looking for the ones that wanted to compete.
Yeah, but
those
it wasn't
people.
always many.
Yeah,
I feel like how many competitions I represented the Bronx by myself.
Yeah.
Like I did. Like I remember when we went against Wingate.
Yep.
Remember when we went? I was the only one competing. I had to get somebody that was randomly on the side. I remember it was even Young Monster.
Right.
And love to go against like 5 of them Wingate dudes. And I was just like, what's going on? Like, nobody wants to compete anymore.
But you're talking about the UFL, not the UFL, it was ICL. I'm going to tell you a story about that. The reason why there was only 2 people from the Bronx was because they didn't pick nobody from the Bronx.
What do you mean?
I had to beg for somebody for y'all 2 to get in Powerhouse. Yeah, because they sent me the whole roster, and everybody was from Brooklyn. So I was like, yo.
Yeah, we already know that.
I was like, yo, can we get some people from the Bronx in? I was like, yo, my squad, can I get some people in? They allowed 3 people in. You, Monster, and Powerhouse. I was like, word?
What?
Yeah, that's what happened. I had to beg for y'all to get in. I was like, yo, this is all Brooklyn. It's all Brooklyn. We got 3 people from the Bronx in.
So I wasn't in no matter what? I wasn't supposed to be in
the original roster did not have you in there. I had to get y'all in there.
That's crazy.
That's the real thing. Matter of fact, I'm posting that picture tonight. I got the picture of everybody that was involved in it, and you'll see it for yourself. But yeah.
I remember it was a bunch. But I mean, who's representing at that time? Who's representing Manhattan and the Bronx?
Nobody. It was just oh, you mean teams?
Teams.
There
Tech
was
wasn't
no Manhattan
competing
team.
at that time. Hit wasn't competing at that time.
No,
Who was
no.
It was nobody.
There was nobody from Manhattan. Not technically.
So it was gonna be a Brooklyn event of just working out with themselves.
Pretty much.
Hilarious.
Pretty much. Let's call it what it is. Doc had a lot to do with that. Let's call it what it is. Doc had a lot to do with that.
I remember I met Ben for the first time that day.
Yeah. So talk to me about the considerably one of the biggest events in New York anyway, the UFL competition. How did that feel? Because I mean, you flew out and went to like Mike Rashid's house.
Oh, you talking about the last one? Remember that was
no. Now I'm talking about the last one right now.
Oh, the last one.
Yeah.
It was regular. I don't know why people put emphasis. Oh, we went to fly. I could have flew out myself, man. We went to Arizona. It was nothing special about Arizona. I'm gonna let you know this right now. It was hot. It was real hot. All right. Let's not glamorize Arizona. It was hot. We went to the hotel. We met up with him. He was telling us about, he used to do pull-ups in New York. I'm looking at him like, where, what part? He was telling us about that. Not to be, it is what it is. He said, he used to do pull-ups. And I'm like, all right, let's get some sets in. He did like 3 of them. And then he started talking. And then me and, what's that guy that was competing with me that day? Not competing. He was just there for the photo shoot. Beast Mode, the Spanish one though.
Yeah, Beast Mode.
What's his name?
I forgot his real name. I think his real name is Brian.
All right.
From Staten Island. He used to be in Staten Island. Now he moved.
Is it Staten
Beast
Island?
Mode. Yeah, he used to be. He used to live in Staten Island, but he moved. I think he's in Florida now.
I think he was in Brooklyn too, bro.
Probably, but he's known for being in Staten Island.
But he was there. It was him. It is what it is. He was there. And then we did a little photo shoot, and then we had to go right back, bro. It was nothing special about that. And then, let's say, go game day. Obviously, Juice was supposed to do that competition.
Right.
That's what I was excited for. I'm like, yeah, you're about to meet Juice.
Yeah.
They got heavyweights that's going to compete against everybody. And then I remember them like, Juice, I don't know, he was going through something. He didn't want to compete, or he didn't compete, or I think they was going through something. I don't know what their situation is, so I can't even call it or talk on it because I didn't even talk to them about that. But I remember they was like, so who we got? I was like, yo, get Ed. I train Ed. Like, get him on the roster. Like, we need that. Because at least he could at least fake the part of, all right, he looked like he's a heavyweight. Right. Let's get him on there. Because at that time, he wasn't a heavyweight. But it would look competitive.
Yeah.
and you know, always me pin them on the shit, like pinning Ed onto stuff. I was like, you know what, I got to get him in, and then at least he's gonna put some bread in his pocket. So let's get it going. And so, you know, obviously they had to hype it up and do an event, but I just felt like at the end of that, I mean, he won that one actually. He beat me for the first time. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, woo, that boy got me. I ain't gonna lie, he got me on that competition. I ain't gonna even lie. But I just felt like they put so much into that competition, and it actually hurt the calisthenic world, because he could have made it smaller and then let it build up to something. Right. He just put that one show on, and people acting like he's gonna do it again. He's not doing it again. If anybody who know Ben, that man is the most, I don't know, man. I don't know. I want to. He's all over the place. That's one word to say. It was one person he got a million things he want to do in his mind, and he's just trying to do everything. That's him, you know. And I think that really hurt the calisthenics game, because people are really, you know, excited for it. You know, they think it's going to be something that, you know, we all worked hard for. We all came here to, you know, put on a show, and to see that, you know, how the money is basically distributed, you know, and it made me really realize, you know, how special we really are.
Right.
And it showed me never let that happen again, you know, because obviously, you know, just hearing some of the numbers that were thrown around, and to hear certain people getting paid this amount, how we getting the least amount for doing all the entertainment? I felt like we shorthanded ourselves.
Yeah.
And even doing that competition, I'm a little mad at myself, because I wasn't as educated as I should have been on my value.
Right.
It showed me that I should have been a little bit more, you know, business savvy, because forget being friends or having a good relationship with somebody. You really have to know your value and really understand that when you're pushing yourself to be on a stage like that, you're supposed to be getting paid your value, or a percentage of your value, not scraps of what was left over, you know? I feel like what we were paid was scraps compared to what some people who were supposed to be our coaches and supposedly artists who nobody really, I mean, they were cool, but nobody really cared about. So just to hear the numbers that were thrown around at that time, it just felt like I didn't give myself the diligence and understanding of the business and understanding of how much I should be paid. I know a lot of people probably like, yo, if it wasn't for the money, at the end of the day, would you give an NBA player $200 to play basketball on a court? You don't do that. That's disrespectful. I think we should really see ourselves in that type of light. And rather than, you know, this is what we're going to get in the beginning, maybe later on it'd be better. Nah, we should be paid do what we do, you know? And especially when it comes down to, you know, they paying almost $100,000 in lights and production, and we coming out of there with maybe less than 10% of what that was. So it makes me really wonder, like, you know, really be business savvy about what you're presenting and what you're giving out to the public. And then, you know, obviously seeing the event being so big and they can't double up on that, you know, because if that was the first event, make it where, you know, something else is coming right behind it. They had nothing for us, you know, and it was sad to see that, you know, after years of that happening, nothing came about. They're like, oh yeah, you know, maybe next year, maybe. It was disappointing, you know, at best, you know, and then it actually didn't do us good to even have that competition, because for people to even say, because most of the people who needed to be on that stage wasn't even on that stage, you know, and then that's just that's my view on it, you know. Everybody has their own view, but for me, I think it could have been a lot better, you know, pushed, and obviously, you know, the continuation of what that was supposed to be. If you would have made that event smaller, get a, you know, just a decent amount, build up the hype, and as you continue on, and then you have a big, I guess, you know, impact on the game, and have a big, like maybe like a Olympia type style, you know, big stage, that would have been even better. But it wasn't all it should have been, you know.
Yeah, see, that's I agree with everything you said, because I was a part of that, and I had to exclude myself because of that, for that same reason, understanding what my value is. And you know, like I said, it was a one-off. It appeared to be a big thing, but look, I don't even want to get into it. That's for another conversation. As far as I know, We got your
Yeah.
point. We got we got your views on that. So that said, which event did you enjoy the most, like in calisthenics? In calisthenics, like was there any event that you had which like stuck out to you? It's like one of your favorites.
NBXA.
Mm. Back to the
That was
origin,
the
man.
excitement. That was the
Yeah.
beginning. It was authentic. It got to the point. Everybody came there with a passion to just compete. You know, the ones that was there to watch, they was watching. You know, and when the ones that wanted to compete, they were there to compete, and they were there with love to compete. You know, with love and passion in their heart to compete. And you know, everything was, you know, a lot of things that I've done. I ain't practiced none of those moves. I just did them.
Mm.
So my thing wasn't, oh yeah, I planned this 10 months in advance. No, whatever I had in my head during that moment, it came out. I didn't play nothing. I didn't train for it. I just jumped in, and that was my style. Just go for it, you know. I didn't see a lot of people. Oh, I had this person that made me want to do this. No, I didn't look at for anybody. I looked for myself to be my own inspiration and to push myself to be better. I wanted to be the best me and to be the best at that competition. You know. To say that, you know, a lot of times I hear others that say, "Oh, this guy inspired." I wasn't inspired by mostly. I can say Matrix in the beginning because his routines. I never did that many sets
Mm.
in my life. And his routine was something like 20, 25. Like it was 20 pull-ups. Then you had to do 25 dips, and then it was 50 push-ups, and then you had to do 10 muscle-ups for 10 rounds.
Mm.
So when I was in it, I was like, "Oh no, this is crazy." Because in the beginning, I did one muscle up on my own. I thought I was the man because I used to do it in my own park. I felt good about it. But when I learned that routine and I was able to do it, I was like, "You do this every day?" He goes, "No, we do this on this, and this day." I said, "When I get back here next week, I'm gonna master it." And I honed in on that, and I stayed true to it. I made sure I did that every day.
Mm.
So next week when we came up to it, I was flying through it. I was like, "We got to step up the numbers now." He was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, this ain't enough. We got to keep going." And that routine just made me just so much more of an athlete. My mindset was always different now from that. It made me get out of the street mentality of just doing stuff on the block. So it took me away from a lot of things. I sometimes wonder why did I put so much energy into, you know, calisthenics, because it felt like at the beginning like it was for nothing.
Right.
But then I realized what I would have been doing if I wasn't in calisthenics. You know, it would have been in a lot of, you know, bad situations because I was all over the place before coming to calisthenics. And I feel like it gave me that, you know, that blinders eye and that vision to just keep on being better at this sport. That make something will come up from it, you know.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm excited about that part.
So that something is potentially the next Mr. Olympia.
And that's the goal, man. I ain't going here for nothing. I want that old spot. Yeah.
So when you go up there to get that award, you gonna scream all that chicken?
All that chicken. Word.
Yo, John, you got anything for Soul?
Of course I do. You already know how long we've been waiting. Wait 5 years for this, man. My goodness.
This is
You
crazy.
one of the most important things about how you affect the game. You spoke about the energy, and you spoke about how it wasn't so much to get other people hyped, but it was to get yourself hyped. Can you
Yeah.
talk about your mindset because one thing that was contagious that I say personally you taught me is you taught me how to act like that on the outside because I would act like that on the inside because the fear of not offending people but making people feel uncomfortable. How talk about how you became okay with being I don't want to say being yourself but being so energetic on the outside regardless of where you were, who you were around, and talk about owning that the part about owning that.
I mean, that's from young. I mean, I only know how to express myself that way. Like that's one of my, I don't know if it's it's a gift or is a curse. I don't know. Because some people are really offended by it. A lot of people don't take kindly for how I move, but I'm not here to impress people. I'm okay with people not liking me. You ain't gonna get liked by everybody in this world, and it's okay. You know, I love to be who I am and expressing myself through that way. If it offends you, it offends you. I'm okay with that. And me expressing myself in an energetic way and aggressive, that's how a man's supposed to move. All right. Now, if you keep your stuff to yourself, that's fine. That's who you are. Don't expect me to do that. Oh, Akeem, you got to be a little bit. No, don't dim my light so you can feel brighter. My light is bright. If it offends you, let's keep it going. And that's why I'm never offended by somebody who have that same aggression. Like, oh yeah, I'll bring it. You gonna make me excited. I'm even more hyped now. So I feed off the energy, and that's the energy that I have in me. I'm gonna express it. I feel like it takes nothing for me to show how much passion I have. Now, it's for you to just be more honed in and keeping it to yourself. That's great.
Yeah.
But for me, it's going to be expressed the way I feel like it needs to be expressed, and that's outwardly, you know?
So now, I got one more for you.
Okay.
Beast in the calisthenic game, beast in the bodybuilding game.
Mm.
What is the next thing Soul, Akeem Supreme Soul, is going to become a beast at?
I don't know, man. That's the difficult question because I'm still I'm a foot and a half into bodybuilding, you know, leaving a little bit more calisthenics to the people who doing it. And, you know, I'm doing a little bit more YouTubes now. So I'm trying to be a beast in that as well. But, you know, the production part is so much more, you know, harder than it looks. You know, that 2-minute video takes a lot of work. And I don't even do it. My girlfriend does it. She helps me a lot with that. And I don't like looking at myself that too often and like videos of watching yourself over and over and putting music to it. And, you know, I gotta sit down and really look at it and really make myself do it. It's not a fun thing for me. You know, I like doing the content and letting somebody else, you know, remix it and master it and do all the other stuff that it needs to take to put on YouTube. But that's one field I want to do it. And, you know, obviously, and building my brand I want to be a beast at, you know. I feel like I'm doing enough, but it could be a lot better, you know. I need to have everybody who know me have 2 hoodies, 2 sweatpants, and a jacket, maybe a tag and you know, some Stay Dangerous glasses and some underwear that I'm trying to get, you know. But, you know, everything's doing time, and, you know, it's a process, you know, and it's going to get better. So hopefully, you know, people stick around and see that, you know, it's going to be pushed. I'm going to show the best me that I possibly can. And hopefully people, you know, draw to it.
All that chicken.
Yo, John, it's funny too, because when you were talking to your first question,
Yeah.
I'll never forget one day a person came up to me and asked me, how do I control him?
Bruh.
And I looked at them like they were absolutely crazy. I was like, what do you mean control? I was like, what do you mean control? They was like, nah, you know, like he's always
That's a grown man.
So like hype and he's always so hype. You know, he always look like he's ready to fight. And I was like, he's all those things. That's why I mess with him. That's why I rock with him. You don't understand. That energy wakes me up. That energy wakes me up. I said, that man could be wrong, dead wrong. And I'm going to ride with him just because he's so passionate about it. Like, I could never be him. I could never match that energy. Never, ever in my life. I've tried. It can't happen. Even when we train, when I train people and when he trains people, I'll watch them do more when he's there. That's why he's the general.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I done showed up in certain parks in the Bronx. Never forget this. I showed up to the Bronx for the first time, right? And you know what's funny? What make me laugh with Soul all the time? And he taught me this, and I kind of do it to people maniacally because he did it to me. He go, yeah, what you came here to do? I said, nah, you know, came here to show y'all love to work out. All right, let's work out. I said, yo, let's do this. He do his set, I do my set. He do this set, I do my set. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, all right, we're gonna switch it up soon. He do another set, and then he gonna ask you the question, like you don't know what's next. He gonna ask you, like, how many you got left? And you better answer truthfully, because I see some dudes try to lie. He's like, yo, I never forget, I had to look him in the face and be like, I got 50 left. And I had to say it with so much pain, because I'm like, bruh, you're not gonna make it. Just don't say it out loud, but you ain't gonna make it. That level of like, yo, welcome to the Bronx.
It's true. There's a lot of people that came, man. Remember those guys that came through from Sweden? that 1 year. Yeah, like these dudes came out. They known for handstands and planches and all of this stuff, all of the showful stuff. So they came through the park like that's what they was gonna do. And I forgot who approached them first. Was like, yo, y'all gotta hit these sets first. And the one thing I tell you though, I respect them because most people will go through the first workout that first day. Remember, what's the que pasa?
Oh, que pasa? Oh yeah.
Yo, there's many people that have come and done that first. Usually it's like the 220 or something like that. We run them through that, and then they immediately realize they ain't ready for this. These dudes went through it. They failed, but they came back every day. I give them that respect. They came back every day. They went back to Sweden with a whole different mindset.
But I guarantee you, Q, that those dudes do things in their routine now that y'all taught them that day.
Oh,
and I know that somebody. Soul taught me one thing: when you get tired, walk back a couple steps, then walk up and do one. And I still do that same thing. And I taught that thing to 10 different people. And you know, those 10 people come back to me and was like, yo, you know what? I'm tired. I still do that walking thing. And then I pull up YouTube. I'm like, yo, you see this 6'8" dude? This dude do that. I was like, yo,
6'8"
two rules.
6'8".
6 foot, yeah. Every time I talk, I like increase his height by like 2 inches. Last time I told her he was 7'4". So it was like, so they were like, yo, that's a real person. I said, yeah, that's a real human. Like that dude something's wrong with him. It's off. He'll never catch up. Something's wrong with him.
But yo, it's real. Yo, you said you had 2 inches, bro. I remember I had a picture with him and Scott next to me. And this lady was like, how tall are they? I was like, oh, they 7 feet. They said they both 7 feet. Like Joey all giants. I'm like, nah, I can't be with these dudes, man. We had some good times. LA.
Oh man, LA was crazy. Remember before even me competing. What was that? What's that before me? When we used to go to all these events to compete to do pull-ups, calisthenics.
Oh yeah, the Fit Expo in LA.
Yeah, we was running through those. We had like 10, 15. Like,
yo, that's my second to last question. Yo, that competition, right? I mean, not competition, that event, when we went out there, right? We walked into that venue. I've been to the LA Expo before. So it was like you and Scott's first time at the Expo.
Yeah.
And I remember watching people watch you walk around.
Yeah.
They didn't know who you were. You weren't an established bodybuilder or anything, but you was walking around with your shirt off and people wanted to take pictures with you. I remember was it CT? Yeah, CT Fletcher walked past and was like, yo, these dudes don't put no shirts on. Yo, I had to videotape that, just walking around and watching people look at you. And I was like, yo, they see it. Like, they don't know who you are, but you have a presence when you walk into a room that is undeniable. It's undeniable. I had to videotape just exactly when I saw people seeing what I see.
Yeah, that was crazy. You was telling me about that. I remember we was doing it. I was like, I don't see nobody. He was like, nah, bro, you gotta look. I'm like, are you right? Yo, I still to this day that happens, and I probably wouldn't even notice.
That's because you still got the mean mug on.
You say, I would like to take a picture, but I don't.
Well, yo, the last question I have is one that we give to everybody, which is pretty much partially from what the fans ask and what we come up, but back to fitness.
Okay.
Is fitness tips. Okay. So I decided to flip it up a little bit and highlight what you're most memorable for is your explosiveness. Okay. So how does a man your stature build that explosiveness?
Build, act like you 100 pounds. Let me stop. I feel like the only way you get better at explosion movements is doing explosion movements. Like you would have to do things like, obviously, the routines of doing push-ups, jumps, things like that. Get on a pull-up bar, pull up as high as you possibly can, explosion, pull-ups. Everything with, I would say every routine has to be, calculated to doing those type of movements. So like I just seen a little reel that you just did with me hopping on top of the bar. You have to get used to your body in those elements. So It doesn't just happen as you walk down the street. You have to get used to your body weight. You know, obviously I'm not as light as I was at that time, but I'm like maybe 15 pounds heavier than that time, I believe. But just doing movements that make you more explosive, like obviously the muscle up, but obviously not just doing a random muscle up. You do it and then try to come off the bar. Those type of movements. Push-ups, you know, obviously double push-ups. Those are good routines. Well, I used to do double push-ups and then jump as high as I can. Double push-ups, jump as high as I can. Obviously on the dip bar as well. Same thing. If I can't throw my entire body up into a handstand, then I know that I can't control my body weight yet. So those are like, you know, small tricks that I used to make sure that I had to cross off so I could understand that I'm able to basically move my body however I want it. You know, I feel like that's a lot of times. If your body's always fluctuating, it's going to be a little bit tough because you're not used to that body weight yet. So every time that you go up maybe 10 or 15 pounds, you have to go through those same routines because your body is different now. People don't think that just 10 to 15 pounds makes a difference. No, it does.
A lot.
Yeah, it makes a difference. It's almost like you restarting your body to understand what that weight is doing to your body and then training on that level.
Yeah,
so you try to get to that. Yeah.
They got to do the work.
You got to do the work. There ain't no way around it.
That's it right there.
It's all about doing the work. John, you got anything else?
Nah, man. I'm just so grateful for the knowledge you gave us today, bro. You always
appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Nah,
this took too long too, though. I ain't gonna say that either. That took a little longer than y'all should, man. I ain't gonna lie. You had a couple people up here before me, man. I'm feeling some type of way. All right?
It's timing. It's timing.
Everything is in good timing, man. It's all good.
Right. You already know. And we're gonna do this again. Please believe. Like I said, as we grow, we taking everybody with us, man. We about the community first over everything.
That's
community over everything. So on that note, you already know, Stay Dangerous is the brand.
No, hold on. I got a question for y'all.
Oh, for sure.
I got a question for y'all. Hold on. One question. Who's up next after me?
It's a secret.
It's a secret.
Nah, actually, I'm gonna tell you one of the people. I'm not going. He may be the next, or he might be the second person, right? Because we're trying to fill a spot this week, but it's gonna be Juice.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? Because I reached out to a lot of people. A lot of people told me no. Some people just told me that they wasn't ready to do it and then decided to do something else. But I reached out to Matrix. I want to get Matrix on here. So if you hit up Matrix, tell him like for real, come with me, mess with me, because he said that he was traveling. So I told him I was gonna wait till he get back. I think he might be back, but I definitely want to get Matrix on here for sure. And a lot of other people, man, But we lining them up. We knocking them down one by one. We're gonna do one, and then we're gonna do it again.
Let me ask. Why did you ask?
Because I was going to come up into one of their pods and then, obviously make my presence known too. We might give out some challenges too, See, if people want to compete again, man. I don't know. Everybody feel like they sleep, man. Everybody's sleeping.
Yeah,
let's make some competitions. I remember we did the little pull-up competition. Everybody doing their own workouts. I don't know what's going on. Like, it's the YouTube world now. Everybody just do YouTube.
The secret plan of all of this is to pretty much ask all of y'all, you and anybody else like Juice, if y'all still want to get this work, because now we have this platform, we can make it happen. Already, Powerhouse.
I don't even care if do it virtually.
Oh no,
you can do a virtual competition or something. I don't know. All right.
Nah, I'm playing.
Honestly,
but yeah, look, we
got retired. Are people considering themselves retired?
We're gonna add some incentive. We're gonna add some incentive.
If
That's
they retired, I want them to have a picture. You put up a picture of behind, and then you gonna put like crutches right by them, so that you know that they're not inactive anymore. or if they like super legends and they don't want to do nothing to it, you put crutches right there next to them too. You feel me?
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have the competitors. I'm gonna be like, booked, retired.
So nobody have to call you out. You ain't gotta call nobody out no more. You ain't gotta ask no interview. We just know you retired and you went into the happy place. You feel me? That's how we can do it now.
I hear you, because like you said, man, where they at?
Where they at, man?
Yeah. Where they
They
at?
coming. We gonna
Man.
bring them. What?
Yeah, we gonna bring them. That's what we hope.
For it, man.
We hope to find them. If they still wondering, we hope to energize them, let them know that there's still a platform available for people to go head to head, group, whatever, however you want to do it. We're looking for the competitors because we are a sports league at the end of the day, and we need competitors. We don't need spectators. We need competitors.
Exactly, man. I feel like that's another reason. Like everybody, you know, they doing. I mean, it's all fun and games. If you are doing something else, that's great. But if you in this and you consider yourself a part of the culture, I may not even be considered a part of the culture. The hell you talking about? Hell yeah, I'm a part of the culture, man. I am the culture. I started this shit, man. I'm one of the old dudes too, and I still get it in. You feel me? And I just feel like if you have a love for this, how you don't compete. It's just different. I mean, I understand some people just there for the watching, but the ones that say they're athletes, you have to be doing other people's routines. You have to be competing to be all right to show. I mean, I guess you don't have to show it, but why not? Let it be fun.
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to. But we're looking for the people that are. We're looking for the people that are.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, because we ain't gonna convince you to compete. You got to be hungry by yourself. Because that one competition, when you lose, you ain't coming back. Let's face facts. Let's face facts. Once you kick that first L, you're going to run scared and talk about how bad it was and your experience was. We're looking for that person that lose and come back and win.
Yeah,
that Muhammad Ali mentality.
Blaming the judges or blaming the fact that, I got a lot of misreps.
Man. Look, there's justification in bad judging, but we have been through too many competitions where we had to deal with that and come back and win.
Who you telling? How many competitions we went in there? I knew I won it, and you had to be like, "Oh no, I ain't count that." All right, cool. We back at it.
Yeah, exactly.
Back at it, like we ain't never left.
You do it so good, you ain't have no choice but to win. You beat them so bad, you have no choice but to win. Exactly. And that's what we're looking for. So if you out there, hit us up because we looking for you, man. We looking for you, all the ladies, all the men that are hungry, kids even, because I think that's what we need to do. We need to start with the kids. Start with the kids. Start putting that mentality in them early, and groom them into the bigger, better athlete.
You ain't lying, because if your endurance is high with this calisthenics, you could jump into anything and be a monster.
That's right. And that's why it's the greatest sport in the world.
Talk to me nice.
Right. Yo, so on that note, man, thank you, man. So you already know, man, that big family. Whoa, what happened?
Hello?
Yo, I know you team blackout, but that
yo.
That would have been fire. I should have left it there.
You should have said that was crazy. That's a sign. That's a sign from God. The Most High just blessed us just now. That was a sign from God. He said, I see y'all. Click, click. Yo, so like I said, bro, you already know anything you got going, you need my support. I'm there for you in any way possible. Thank you again for being on this podcast, man. It means so much.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yes, indeed.
Hopefully they was entertained.
Oh, are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? Is this not why you here?
So, yeah, this is the CCA podcast. Without a doubt, we have to shout out Pushing Weight, always showing us love. Go to pushingweight.com, pick up all of your fitness apparel and equipment needs. We also have a special sponsor, eBoost, keeping me fueled throughout this interview because Lord knows it's been a long week.
Hold on.
Oh, yes, indeed. And of course,
fitness gear.
The biggest sponsor sponsor, but you already know. Support your man. Akeem Supreme on Instagram. Hit him up. Stay Dangerous is the brand. Get the All That Chicken shirt.
Let's get it.
All of that. Let's get
everything. I'll give you a couple if you could give me some sets too. So I even take payments in sets. If it look good.
Oh, okay. I hear that. Look out for that challenge coming soon.
Let's get it.
Yo, give him one word real quick, man. Give him one word. Give him one
word. Let's get it.
Yo, big salute, family.
Let's get it, brother.
Yo, this is the CCA podcast. As always, we're on YouTube. Please follow, like, subscribe, and comment. Show us all the love. Subscribe to Akeem Supreme channel also. Subscribe to
Definitely,
Limitations also.
Yeah.
Show love where it's needed. You're going to get some quality information from all of the above. Good night to y'all. We are signing off. My boy John McLeod behind the scenes. You already know. Salute.
Salute. Get it.
Bye.